The Haunted Mirror of Savannah. Welcome to Midnight Tales, where tonight we journey to Savannah, Georgia, one of America's most haunted cities. Our story begins in 2023, when history professor Eleanor Hart inherits a 19th century plantation house from a distant relative she never knew. The estate, known as Hollow Oaks, had been abandoned since 1929, when the last owner disappeared without a trace. Local legend claimed the house was cursed, but Eleanor, a skeptic by nature, dismissed such talk as tourist attractions. Her first discovery inside the dusty mansion was a massive antique mirror in the ballroom, an ornate Victorian piece with carved oak frames depicting scenes from plantation life. Something about it drew Eleanor in a strange pull she couldn't explain. That first night, as thunderstorms rolled in, Eleanor noticed something impossible. When she passed the mirror, her reflection lingered for 3 full seconds after she'd walked away. Eleanor's research revealed the mirror had been commissioned in 1858 by Jonathan Caldwell, the original owner of Hollow Oaks, a cruel slave owner known for his brutal punishments. The mirror arrived at the plantation just weeks before the start of the Civil War. Her breakthrough came when she discovered a diary hidden in the attic belonging to Sarah, a house slave who worked in the mansion. The final entry, dated October 12, 1864, read, "Master Caldwell has gone mad since the Yankees came. He says the mirror shows him victory, but I've seen what's really there. When he looks, he sees himself as king of this land forever. When I look, I see freedom. Tonight, he caught me staring. He says I'll be his mirror slave, forever now." That evening, Eleanor conducted an experiment. She placed a digital clock in front of the mirror and took a photo of her reflection. When she checked the image, the clock in the mirror showed 7:14 p.m., 3 hours behind the actual time. More disturbing, her reflection wore period clothing and stared directly at the camera while she had been looking at the clock. Over the next week, the phenomenon intensified. Eleanor began seeing complete scenes in the mirror: plantation workers in the fields, Caldwell supervising punishments, slave children hiding in the walls, each vision clearer than the last. Then came the night she saw Sarah, the diary's author, in the mirror, frantically gesturing for help. When Eleanor reached toward the glass, her hand passed through. She felt cold fingers grasp hers, and for a split second, their eyes met. "I'm trapped here," a voice whispered directly in her ear, though no one was in the room. "He's collecting souls." Eleanor's investigation led her to Savannah's Historical Society, where she uncovered court records from 1865. Jonathan Caldwell had been accused of murdering 14 slaves rather than letting them be freed by Union soldiers. His body was never found, but locals claimed he'd locked himself in the ballroom as the plantation was liberated. Armed with this knowledge, Eleanor returned to Hollow Oaks, determined to solve the mystery. She set up cameras throughout the ballroom and positioned historical artifacts around the mirror at precisely 9:00 p.m., the time Sarah's diary mentioned Caldwell's final punishment. As the clock struck 9, the mirror began to glow with an otherworldly light. The reflection transformed completely, showing the ballroom as it appeared in 1864. Caldwell, standing before Sarah, holding a whip. "Stop!" Eleanor shouted, surprising herself with her own courage. To her shock, Caldwell in the mirror turned toward her, his eyes locking onto hers through time and glass. "Another soul to replace the ones who've escaped," he said, his voice somehow traveling through the centuries. The temperature plummeted. Frost spread across the mirror's surface as Caldwell reached through, his arm emerging into 2023. Eleanor stumbled backward as he began pulling himself through the glass barrier, a grotesque half-man, half-reflection creature. Sarah appeared in the mirror behind him, gathering other enslaved spirits. "Now!" she screamed. "Break the connection!" Eleanor grabbed an antique candlestick and smashed it against the mirror. Instead of shattering, the glass rippled like water. Caldwell howled in rage as Sarah and the other spirits pulled him back into the mirror world. The mirror exploded into thousands of pieces, each shard showing a brief glimpse of freedom for the trapped souls before going dark. When the dust settled, Eleanor found herself alone in the ballroom, surrounded by mirror fragments that now showed only normal reflections. 3 months later, Eleanor sold Hollow Oaks to the Savannah Historical Society, with one condition: that the mirror remains shattered and displayed as part of an exhibit on slavery's horrors. But strange occurrences continue. Visitors report seeing brief reflections of people in period clothing in the shards. Security cameras capture unexplained movements in the exhibit after hours. Most disturbing of all, museum staff have found the mirror fragments gradually moving overnight, inching back toward their original positions as if trying to reassemble themselves. Eleanor visits monthly, documenting the phenomenon. Her research revealed something chilling. Every 99 years, the mirror's power peaks. 1929 plus 99 years brings us to 2028. As our story concludes tonight, restoration workers in Savannah are reporting something impossible. Their tools have been moving on their own, carefully polishing and cleaning individual mirror fragments. Some say Jonathan Caldwell still seeks to escape his prison of time, Others believe Sarah and the enslaved spirits are trying to reform the mirror as a portal to our world, this time as free people. Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. In Savannah, some reflections show more